What is up guys, Jarv here, back today jumping into Destiny 2. In today's video we're taking a look at all the god rolls for the Dawning weapons. There are 4 reprised weapons as part of this event, so if you want to find out the rolls you should be seeking out, then be sure to stick around and enjoy the video. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave a comment and rating down below, and remember to subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. But without further delay guys, let's jump into the video. Another year and another Dawning event. The Dawning has kicked off in 2021, and with that we see the return of Eva Levante in the tower, and we have to bake many treats for all our friends in the Destiny universe. This is in the hope of getting a gift in return. These can offer some amazing pieces of loot, and you can even hand these in to Eva Levante with some Dawning Spirit to focus farm particular weapons from this year's event. So if you're going to be chasing down a particular weapon after watching this video, be sure to pay Eva a visit, especially if you have a gift in return in your inventory. Now the first weapon we're going to be taking a look at is the Cold Front submachine gun. This is a kinetic machine gun that fires at 750 rounds per minute. Now the Cold Front is a reprised submachine gun that was originally introduced in the Season of Dawn back in Season 9, but it finds itself returning this year with some awesome new perks. Now the Cold Front is an aggressive frame, so it deals high damage and has high recoil, and some of the perks we enjoyed last year have been removed and replaced with new perks. Now the Cold Front has 6 perks in the 3rd and 4th column, and some of these are entirely new and were introduced as part of the 30th anniversary pack. Now in the 3rd column you have a choice between Subsistence, Surplus, Quick Draw, Dynamic Sway Reduction, Under Pressure, and a new perk that was introduced as part of the anniversary pack called Perpetual Motion, and that is where the weapon gains bonus stability, handling and reload speed while the wielder is in motion. In the 4th column once again we have 6 perks available. Rampage is here once again. This is where kills with the weapon will temporarily grant increased damage, stacking up to 3 times. This is alongside Surrounded, Thresh, One for All, Swashbuckler, which is a brand new perk. I believe this replaced Dragonfly that was on it last year. Swashbuckler is where the weapon gains increased damage from melee kills and kills with the weapon, and that stacks up to 5 times. And the final perk in the final column is called Harmony, and that's where final blows with other weapons improve this weapon's damage and performance for a short duration, and that was introduced with Season of the Lost. Now the role that I have on my Cold Front is Feeding Frenzy and Kill Clip. Sadly neither of those perks are available right now, and this is a sunset version of that submachine gun that was originally introduced, as I said, back in Season 9. But with that being said, with the perks that are available, what is the god roll for the Cold Front right now in Season 15? Now as for the barrel options, you have a few choices. Corkscrew Rifling and also Arrowhead Break are great choices. These will both improve the weapon's handling, with Corkscrew Rifling also improving its range and stability by +5, and with Arrowhead Break this will improve the handling by +10 and the recoil by +30, and both of those are great choices. As for the magazine, if you want extra range, then Accurized Rounds is a great choice, giving you a +10 to your range, but Tactical Mag is also a top tier choice. Not only does this increase your magazine size by +10, it improves your reload by +10 and the stability by +5, giving you benefits across the board. Now as for main legendary traits, Surplus is a top tier choice. This increases handling, reload speed and stability for each fully charged ability. Now each charged ability has a noticeable improvement on the weapon's handling and performance, and this is very noticeable on a weapon especially like the Cold Front. Another great choice though is Dynamic Sway Reduction, which helps improve the accuracy and stability while continuously holding down the trigger. Those are both fantastic choices. Now what makes this weapon absolutely formidable is the extra damage dealing perks on offer. Rampage is the easiest and the go-to choice, where kills with the weapon will temporarily grant increased damage, stacking up to 3 times, or the brand new perk that was introduced in this season's event, which is Swashbuckler, where that weapon gains increased damage from melee kills and kills with the weapon. Now as the Cold Front is an aggressive frame, things like Surplus and Dynamic Sway Reduction help improve the weapon's performance and usability across all different platforms. When you pair that with an extra damage dealing perk like Rampage or Swashbuckler, then you're very much setting yourself up for success when chasing down a good Cold Front. But as always guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Is Surplus better than Dynamic Sway Reduction, and is Rampage better than Swashbuckler? Be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now the next weapon we're going to take a look at is the Glacioclasm Legendary Energy Fusion Rifle. This deals void damage and uses special ammo. Now this one is a high impact frame, so it's slow firing and deals high damage, and the weapon is more accurate when stationary and firing down sights. Now the Glacioclasm used to be one of the most popular fusion rifles, however at the moment it has one of the slowest charge times available, with a charge time of 1000. Now if you can work around that charge time or even get a charge time masterwork to help reduce it, then the Glacioclasm is still a very strong fusion rifle. Now, much like the Cold Front, some of the perks have been changed and reworked for this year's event. For example, the role on mine is Ambitious Assassin and Surrounded, with a Surrounded spec mod, making it an absolute monster in PvE. However, once again, neither of those perks are available. But with that being said, there are 6 perks in the 3rd and 4th column, some of those of which are brand new once again this season. Now, in the 3rd column, we have the choice between Surplus, Killing Wind, Slide Shot, Under Pressure, Threat Detector, and Subsistence. Now, Subsistence is where defeating targets partially reloads the magazine from reserves, which is a very interesting choice and is arguably slightly better than Ambitious Assassin that was on it previously. And in the final column, you have a choice between Demolitionist, Swashbuckler, High Impact Reserves, Backup Plan, Harmony, and a new perk for the weapon, Reservoir Burst. Now, this is when the battery is full, your next burst deals additional damage and causes the enemy to explode on death. It also increases your magazine size by +30, and it's an absolutely top tier legendary perk. Now, with all those perks out in the open, what is the god roll now for the Glacioclasm fusion rifle? Well, if you're looking for a PvP role, then you'll want to maximize your range. So you'll be looking for something like Extended Barrel and Projection Fuse to max out that range, alongside Under Pressure and High Impact Reserves. Under Pressure is where it improves the stability and accuracy as the magazine gets lower, which is excellent for PvP as you have low special ammo most of the time, alongside High Impact Reserves, where rounds at the end of the magazine deal more damage. By dealing more damage with a low magazine, not only do you have the increased accuracy from Under Pressure, those rounds will also deal extra damage, allowing for more consistency inside the crucible. But if you're looking for a PvE role, then in terms of main legendary traits, you most definitely want to be seeking out Subsistence. Defeating targets will partially reload that magazine from reserves, and when you pair that with something like Reservoir Burst, which is when the battery is full, your next burst deals additional damage and causes that enemy to explode. As long as you're getting a kill on that combatant, you'll have Reservoir Burst up each and every kill. It means your fusion will be dealing even more damage and automatically reloading reserves for you, getting you back into the fight consistently over and over again. It's a very deadly combination and is most definitely the go-to god roll when it comes to PvE content. But as always guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Are you seeking out Subsistence Reservoir Burst, or is there a god roll that we haven't covered in this video? Be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, the next weapon in the Dawning is the Avalanche. This is a legendary power machine gun. This deals solar damage and uses heavy ammo. Now, this was introduced originally back in Season 5, back in the Season of the Forges and Black Armory, and was reintroduced back in Season of the Hunt in Season 12. Now, this machine gun is an adaptive frame, so it has a well-rounded grip, is reliable and sturdy. Now, the Avalanche has always been one of my favourite machine guns, as the Suros machine gun has some of the most unintrusive sights available on any weapon. Now, back in the day, I used to love the Feeding Frenzy Rampage roll you used to be able to get on this weapon, but as with all the Dawning weapons, those perks sadly aren't available. But as always, Bungie has added new perks for this year's event. As with the previous weapons, this also has 6 perks in the 3rd and 4th column. In the 3rd column, you have a choice between Killing Wind, Outlaw, Autoloading Holster, Surplus, Zen Moment, and also Subsistence. And in the final column, you have a choice between Swashbuckler, Vorpal Weapon, Dragonfly, Tap the Trigger, Opening Shot, and Adrenaline Junkie, which got a nice buff recently as part of an update. Now, Adrenaline Junkie is where the weapon gains increased damage and handling from grenade kills and kills with this weapon, and is a very strong perk. But with that in mind, and considering Feeding Frenzy and Rampage is no longer available, what is the god roll on the Avalanche in the Dawning 2021? Well, some of the go-to sights and scopes are the SRO-37 Ocular, which improves your range by +10, your zoom by +5, but reduces your handling by -3. If you're looking for more of a medium range sight though, then the SPO-57 is available. That still improves your range by +15, your zoom by +4, and reduces your handling by +5. Now, in terms of magazine options, if you want to make up for that stability on the machine gun, then you can get ricochet rounds on this weapon, which improves your range and stability on the weapon. But if you're looking for deeper ammo pockets, then something like Extended Magazine or Appended Magazine would be your go-to choices. Now, in terms of main legendary traits, Autoloading Holster is an absolutely top tier and underrated perk, especially on heavy weapons. And that's where holstering the weapon will automatically reload after a short time. And when you pair that with Vorpal Weapon, which increases the damage against bosses, vehicles, and any guardians with their super active, That helps make the Avalanche a very deadly weapon indeed. But if you're not looking for out and out single target damage, then an alternative perk would be Dragonfly, and that's where precision kills create a elemental damage explosion on something like a machine gun, which can also have things like high caliber rounds and even Kill and Wind, where final blows will improve your mobility, range and handling for a short time. That will help make the weapon handle not just a lot better, but will be excellent for clearing low tier combatants too. So if you're looking for a weapon for single target damage, then something like autoloading holster and Vorpal weapon would be your go-to choice. But if you're looking for something for ad clear instead, then something like Killing Wind and Dragonfly is also a fantastic choice. Naturally, with some of the newer perks, things like Subsistence and Adrenaline Junkie, those two perks together could be a deadly combination. So if you haven't been able to get your hands on a good roll on the Avalanche just yet, considering the perks that are available and the utility that those perks offer, it's definitely worth farming out a good Avalanche in this year's event to make sure you don't miss out. Now the final weapon we're going to take a look at is the Zephyr. This is a legendary power sword. Now this deals stasis damage and uses heavy ammo and was introduced in season 15. Originally though, I believe this was introduced back in Curse of Osiris and has been reissued as part of this year's event. Now this sword is an adaptive frame, so you can launch a heavy uppercut attack, and heavy attacks are stronger with full energy. Now once again, this sword has 6 perks in the 3rd and 4th column and has an entirely unique perk available on this weapon. In the 3rd column, you have a choice between Tireless Blade, Relentless Strikes, Thresh, Unrelenting, Duelist's Trance, where sword final blows grant increased charge rate, efficiency and defense until the weapon is stowed, alongside energy transfer. And in the final column we have the new perk called Cold Steel, and this is where powered sword hits slow targets, essentially giving you a free stasis attack. This is alongside Assassin's Blade, Flash Counter, Counter Attack, Whirlwind Blade, and also Harmony, where final blows with other weapons will improve this weapon's damage and performance for a short duration. Now you can earn this sword as part of one of the quests in this year's event, which will grant you Honed Edge, Balanced Guard, Energy Transfer, and Cold Steel, which is a fixed roll for every Guardian. But with that being said, that isn't technically the god roll on this weapon. Now if we kick off with the blade choices, Honed Edge is still the go-to choice. This improves the impact by +5 with no penalties. Jagged Edge is also seen as a popular choice. However, while this increases your impact by +10, this will reduce your ammo capacity and magazine by -20. So if you're looking for burst damage, then Jagged Edge is definitely the choice. But if you're looking for persistent DPS, then Honed Edge would be the go-to option. In terms of guard options, Balanced Guard is the popular choice, with stability, defense, inventory and efficiency all being improved by +50 with no penalties to your charge time. Burst Guard is also another possible choice. This improves the sword's stability, defense and efficiency by +100 with no penalties to your inventory size, and both are great choices. In terms of main legendary traits though, Duelist's Trance is an underrated perk. This is where sword final blows grant increased charge rate, efficiency and defense until the weapon is stowed. So as long as you get a kill and keep the weapon out, you'll be getting the benefits of Duelist Trance throughout any encounter. And when you pair that with something like Whirlwind Blade, where rapid sword strikes increase the weapon's damage for a short duration, and Guardian also ends the effect. Now whilst Whirlwind Blade will take up to 10 times to ensure you can reach maximum damage, when you pair that with Duelist Trance, which is increasing the charge rate, efficiency and defense of the sword as long as you're using it, those two perks together are absolutely monstrous when it comes to DPS in any activity. Remember guys, there are some amazing perks on offer for swords this season, things like Loosen Blade, and even if you're running a Titan, then Strongholds are a fantastic choice. When you pair those options with those perks, then you'll have a heavy attack up most of the time, making this sword an absolute DPS beast for those single target combatants. Now as for Cold Steel, this is a great perk as it helps pin down targets to a single location and helps prevent them attacking you in the middle of a fight. But as always guys, be sure to let me know your thoughts down below. Have you got your hands on the Zephyr, and what do you think the god roll on this sword is, and will you be farming that out? Be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. So there we have it guys, a good look at all 4 Dawning weapons and their god rolls for this year's event. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to check out one of the 2 videos you see here in these cards for more Destiny 2 content. And if you want to keep up to date with everything to do with Destiny 2, be sure to hit subscribe as well. I'm going to jump back into the game as always guys, and I will catch you all again very soon.